Today I'm going to show you how to create some different moods within your photos using Photoshop for your mood series project. So keep in mind that a lot of this project requires you to be creative with the way you edit your photos. So it's a good idea to maybe just remind yourself of all of the tools we've explored so far. For example, the dodge and burn tool, the cropper tool, the selector tool, paint tool, and eraser tool, they're all found over here. Those are great tools to use to create mood. It's also great to use color changing tools and exposure changing tools, and those can be found in the image tab within the adjustments area. So all of these can change exposure, and then all of these down here can change the colors. These are also some interesting tools as well that you can use to create mood in your photos. So with this project, it's important to take photos that kind of show a mood and then use Photoshop to enhance that mood. So for example, with this artwork, I'm going to try and make it a happy mood, and so to me it already seems kind of happy since there's bright colors. There's lots of yellows in the artwork, and yellow is kind of associated with happiness. But here's some extra steps you could take to create more of a sense of happiness. And these are some new items that you may not know about already. So if you look down here at this circle icon that's half filled or half empty, whichever way you think it is, it is called the Create New Fill or Adjustments layer. And if you click on that, there's all these different layers you could choose from to kind of create a different mood with. For example, if you click on the photo filter layer, so this little box will pop up and you have different filters you could use. If I wanted to make it more cooler, I could choose a cooling filter. Notice it kind of picks a color and then it has a density option. You can make it really dense and really cold looking, or you can make it slightly dense. So for example, if I wanted to make this happier, I'd probably want to make it warmer. And so I could use one of the warming filters. Anyone will probably do. I think I like this one the best. So I could make it really, really warm, but that kind of washes everything out, and I don't like that personally. And so I'll probably leave it at about 50. And if I get rid of that, then I have a new filter here. It says Photo Filter 1. And if I click the eye, then I can see my changes. It's very simple. So there's a lot of different adjustments you can make within this area. And it's kind of nice because it creates them on a new layer and you can easily delete them if you don't like them. For example, if I wanted to change up the exposure, it would create a new layer for me that I can then kind of make it lighter or darker depending on what I wanted. And depending on the new layers you choose, you can also change the opacity and make them more transparent. So if you kind of like the way they are, but you don't like how they are so intense, you can make them transparent and make them less intense, such as what I've done with this top layer. Remember, everything that's on top is going to cover everything on the bottom unless they're transparent. So that's important to keep in mind as well. So I'll probably leave this as it is. I might maybe change a few other colors. If you do want to make any color changes, you have to go back to your original layer. And it's a good idea to copy that and make your changes on a different one. Also keep in mind that while you work, it's also a good idea to save your work so that if your computer crashes or if something happens, you have access to it. And it's a good idea to save it as a new file so you don't override your original. So you'll go to File and Save As. So you'll give it a name, you'll click Save, you'll click OK, and I saved it as a PSD, so that means I have access to all of these layers. If you want to be able to use this picture anywhere or upload it anywhere or turn it into Canvas, for example, you will need to flatten your pictures and turn them in as a JPEG. So I'm going to change up some of the colors as well, and that can be done in the color balance area. I think I might make it even more warm and yellowy. And if you click the preview button, you can always see your changes. Keep in mind that you can change up the highlights and the shadows as well. So if you want your shadows to be more blue or yellow, you can change that up. And once again, you can always go back and hit preview to see your changes. So this is what I ended up with. These are my different layers. I can decide if I want them or not. I can throw them out. I can do whatever I want with those now. Let's say that I'm happy with it. All I have to do is go to Layer at the top, click on Flatten Image, and that'll compress all the layers together. And it'll basically turn it into just a single picture that you can then go to File and click on Save As, and you can save it as a JPEG file. So there's a little drop-down box down here. Right now it says it's saving as a Photoshop file. You'll want to change that to a JPEG. And I'll click Save. I'll click OK. And then that's done. So in case you were wondering, here's my original photo that I started out with. And here is the mood edited photo that I ended up with. And keep in mind that it's good to just experiment with a lot of different things. For example, this photograph of aspens in the snow I edited several times and each got different effects. And so keep in mind that these effects can greatly influence the mood and the emotion within your photos. And so sometimes it's a good idea just to experiment with all these different things, with all these different layers and all these different tools. So use all of your tools to your advantage, so that you can really create a photo that emphasizes the mood. So it's pretty simple. All you have to do is use your Photoshop tools, use them creatively to help enhance the mood that should already be present in your photos.